Hey, what's up, everybody? Just got out of the gym here. The thing about Planet Fitness, and they stopped doing this at my local gyms, but I don't know. Like, they used to, bring, donuts and crap. I heard they had pizza, but I never seen the pizza. But it's like, who brings donuts to the gym? They stopped doing that. I never got any donuts because, hey, I just got done working out. Why do I need to go and ruin it? But there's always something. Nothing good comes after the butt. They put one of my vices in there, and that's Tootsie Rolls. A bucket of Tootsie Rolls. And every time I leave the gym, I get me a couple. Now, a couple of Tootsie Rolls ain't going to do as bad as a donut. But still, I didn't get the donut. But I'm getting the Tootsie Rolls. Now, they're small Tootsie Rolls. But I didn't get the donut, though. But I got a good workout in. As promised, I saved Juan Cordova's video for the gym because yesterday I listened to JD's video in the gym. And today I listened to Juan's. And all I gotta say, a couple things. There's nothing like having a good woman in our lives. You know? Whether it be your wife, your mom, your sister, what have you. Having a good woman in your life as a man kind of helps things. They look at things a lot differently than we do. My wife and I make a good team if I only listen to her. A few years ago, I went to go and was thinking about getting into this lease purchase with Big Yeti, what do you call it, transporters? My wife told me that I don't trust that guy. I don't think it's a good idea. And I stuck up for Matthew Murray during that time. I said, hey, he's a good dude. Well, I should have listened to my wife. It would have saved us a lot of crap. I'm just saying. I don't like having a good woman to bring us men down to reality. But another thing I was going to say about Juan's video and kind of compare it to mine. I could kind of now see where Juan probably thought that I was kind of an asshole and into myself and all that. Because I ain't gone through all the stuff that he's gone through and things he's done and all that. If you compare his story to mine, mine's pretty boring. You know? I've never been to jail. Never been on drugs. Never even smoked. Not even a hit on marijuana. The only time I've ever done is drink a little bit too much a few times in my life. Not even a whole lot. Just a few times. And shoot, I went 10 years without a drink. One time. 10 years without a single beer. That's saying something. When you're around my brother-in-laws, I'm just saying. Anytime we go fishing, there's always some sort of adult beverage of choice. But no, I went like 10 years without it. And well, anyway. So yeah, I can understand the reason why if someone goes and maybe gets to know me or knows of me or something like that, and then they have a little bit more of a checkered past than I do, they may kind of look at me in a different light, like I'm better. And And I apologize if I ever come across that way. I just don't know any better because I've never been to jail. I've never been on drugs, and I've never been in any kind of gang or anything like that. Besides Wolfpack. Besides Wolfpack. Um, it was like one time. Now, you know, Snapper kind of, trucking with old Snapper. He kind of left me a lasting impression. But, which is not really good, but I don't know. Um, about a year or so ago, and we only talked on the phone a couple times, and one of those times, and we were sitting there talking about tattoos, and he was talking about prison and stuff like that. But he told me, it's like, I look up to people like you. Like, what do you mean? Well, you kept your nose clean. You never been to jail. It's like, you're one of the guys I wanted to be, right? You kept your nose clean. I never really looked at it like that, right? Because if you listen to my story, it's not littered with a lot of stuff. Just, I would say, just an average life. Broken home. A lot of people go through that, but you go and meet your wife, and she gets pregnant, and all of a sudden you see dollar bills in your side. Hey, I gotta get to work in here. Enough of this. It's time to man up and grow up here. Work hard all your life, and make your money honestly, and all that. That's where I've tried to be. It's what I strive to do, and I think most people are like that. But some people just get caught up in wrong crowds, and maybe they have something going on that influenced them when they were young or whatever. I just never really had that. So I try not to make myself sound better than anyone else, because I'm not. If anything, people that, came from prison, learned things the hard way, are probably better than I am, because I've never really went to prison. I've never done that, because here's the deal. Every time that you fall, and every time you fail at something, you dust your britches off, you get up, and you go, give it another shot and do better. Right? And I've failed plenty of my times, trust me. And each time I got back up and I got better. I fixed my ways. And so even though my failures may not be going to prison, the people that do go, it's like, hey, they come out different and much wiser, and probably a lot tougher than someone like me. Can you imagine someone like me in prison? I'm not a fighter. I'm just not. I'm not a fighter or anything like that. I'm just, So much respect for Juan Cordova putting out that, because I know it was tough for him. I could feel it in the, I was sitting there lifting some weights. He helped me. Listen, I was lifting some good heavy weights there, Juan. I just want to let you know, because I loved listening to James Hensley when I was in the weight room, and that helped me lose weight. I'm just saying. Now, just like you kind of like get me focused off of my pain, as I'm freaking doing some bench press, and that helps me push a little harder, right? Like my physical pain that I have in my arms and my chest and my shoulders, I'm not thinking about that, because I'm hearing you, and that's a really good distraction. So I appreciate that. Well, enough positivity, I guess. Enough positivity. Well, we could go and talk about what I kind of keyed up this freaking phone here, as I'm sitting in the gym parking lot and I'm fixing to go put it in drive and go into the house. You know, you've noticed, and I know that JD made a video, Juan made a video. I seen that Randall made a video. I even saw that today that Elite made a video, and think I probably references kind of the same theme. So there's how many? 5 people. There's 5 people that I believe that have goodness in their hearts, goodness in their souls. Right? They may get on here and talk a little trash and all that kind of stuff, and maybe act out. But at the end of the day, they're good-hearted people, and I've seen that. I've seen that in everyone that I've so far. Right? JD, Juan, Elite. Randall, I've always known that about Randall's had a good heart, just makes some stupid decisions. There's a lot of people that I like on here that have a good heart, and one of the reasons why I like them is because they have a good heart. You could see their heart, right? You could see in them that they want the good for other people, and they look for the good in people. Yeah, I'm fixing to go trash all over TC Boggs. But at the end of the day, at the end of the story, I'm going to sit there and tell him that there's probably good in that dude, and he needs to find it and put it out there. Right? Because I've noticed all these people. Wenzard made a comment or whatever. I deleted it, freaking weirdo, and blocked him. But people, I know that people are probably mocking us for putting our stories out. I know that they're probably doing that. They're mocking it and all that. Because we open up a little bit of our life, giving you a summary, because most of us are in our 40s here, and, we can't sit there and tell you 40 some odd years of history in an hour video. But we could tell you the main things that created us, right? Not all the little stories, but, playing basketball in school and getting my first Nintendo, the little stories, playing football with my friends in the front yard when I was a kid, going fishing, and on the riverbank, on the Sabine River, or at the freaking Lake of the Pines, or Bob Sandlin, or Fort Cobb Lake, or something like that. We can't sit there and tell you all those stories. Or maybe the bad times when I got in so much trouble when I was a freshman in high school because my mom found a pack of cigarettes in my flannel jacket. Man, I was in real big trouble then. I compare my troubled days with these guys, and it's just like I got in trouble. I got grounded from my pickup truck because Mom caught a pack of Marlboro Reds in my freaking flannel jacket. When I was a freshman in high school, my mom was a freaking chain smoker, and she didn't want me to be like her. So that's the last time I ever smoked a cigarette. Facts. Now, I had, in college, I tried some Black and Milds, and I was smoking those. Had some friends that were smoking those, and I was just trying to fit in, but there's that. Yeah, but anyway. But TC Boggs always wants to talk about me, right? And I'm sure he'll probably have anything, something to say about my story and whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to watch. It's a good thing about it is because I watch The Hardest Texan. I watch Elite. I watch Juan Cordova. I watch Trucker JD. I watch James Best. I watch people that watch those guys. And they tell me enough. I don't need to watch any of those guys anymore. I watch the guys that I like. Right? I haven't seen a Thor video since the day he said there, hey, all those 7 years, I was playing you. I was never your friend. That's what he said. And I was like, okay. The 7.3% respect I had left for that dude is all gone. Because it made everything that he's ever said to me null and void. You know? So, yeah, there you go. And so I don't watch him at all. At all. Right? So I just hear about what he says when maybe someone else that watches him. Because I don't talk to B on the phone. I don't text anybody. I don't email anybody. Don't talk to anybody about any of this, right? So I just watch their videos and I can comment on it. And last night, freaking Billy Raines made a freaking video about TC Boggs and some things I forgot about. Right? Like, I know the other day I was sitting there talking about how TC Boggs was, I'm going to put this thing in gear. The other day TC Boggs was sitting there running in his mouth about how I'm detestable. And I started talking about how the people that he had in his life and who he supports and who he lifts up on a pedestal, like James Hensley, right? James Hensley is a child beater, right? On video. Got that. On video. Him admitting it. And you guys don't think about that, right? All you guys want to sit there and talk about is how friggin' James Best threw a cereal bowl and missed. But he hit his kid, his own flesh and blood, a teenager, not a spanking, hit her in the freaking face. When I got on to my kids when they were little bitty, I put them in the corner, or I grounded them, or took something away. Because they're little girls, right? They're little girls. I think if I had a son, I probably would have done what my freaking grandfather did to me, my principal or whatever were done to me, right? If I got in trouble, giving me the old, board to the butt, right? Or a belt, right? They'll give me a paddling. Yeah, I mean, I never did. My girls were well mannered anyway. It didn't really need to do anything like that. But anytime that, they started acting out, we put them in the corner. Never in my life have I ever wanted to hit my kids or my wife or any woman. Never. But yet, he lives on the pedestal. People like James Hensley, who hit his own daughter, William Worthington, who beat his wife on camera, and there was she called the police or something on he threw a cell phone at her. And then there's some other charge from even years before that someone had posted on the internet, and I looked into it a little bit, but not that much. You had to have court documents and crap, and I didn't want to spend that much time on William Worthington. But that's who he lifts up on a pedestal. That's what TC Boggs does. Not only that, freaking James Hensley goes off and defrauds the government. How many times has you heard TC Boggs talk about Coachy Coach and SBA loan? Right? When James Hensley did not have a business, was living off welfare, okay? Living off welfare, and in text, the proof was out there. Freaking Elite put it out there. Coach put it out there. That he was bragging about getting one over on the government. Which, from what I understand, that the government has forgiven that loan as many other SBA loans, right, during that time. That means the taxpayers got that bill. Right? Got one over on the government. Defrauding the government. But James Hensley, he's not detestable. Ike is, right? I mean, and then he defrauds the whole YouTube community by sitting there going off and sitting there saying, my house burnt down to the ground. We have nothing left. All right. We all felt sorry for him. I made a video. Lord knows how much money he got off my video because it had 20,000 views. And, I know things, people sent me stuff that I forwarded it to him, right, through the mail. I know that for a fact. And some of them were checks. I have no idea what they were, what checks they were, because I didn't open up the envelope, but all that was a check. That's all I saw, it was a check in there. Or it could have been a note, but I doubt it was a note. I bet it was a check. Because I had people email me saying I'm going to email them a check or I'm going to mail you a check. Right? I don't know how much it was, but I sent it to them. right? And then after all that, who was it? Elite? The one that ran James Hensley off twice and ran you off once? He goes off and sits there and says, it shows us pictures of his house after the fire. It didn't burn down and they didn't lose everything. They got a year's worth of rent paid at their new place and a bunch of furniture, all thanks to YouTube because of a lie that he spoke of. But Ike is detestable. All right? Here's the deal, TC Boggs. You know who you remind me of? You remind me of Gamer Pat. I mean, shirt no. I mean, you go look at that brown shirt that dude probably still wearing today, where that freaking neck of that thing is about as wide as his shoulders. You still do the same thing with your shirt that you wear, these big old shirts. And don't sit there and tell me, it's because I lost weight. No, I've lost weight, right? I was over 400 pounds. Right now, I'm wearing a shirt that I bought when I was over 400 pounds back in 2020. This shirt. I wore it to the gym, and the neck on this thing is still pretty snug. Not completely snug, but it feels pretty snug to my neck. And it's not because, this thing, and it's just like I've had this thing forever. You've had that shirt probably for 10 years. Change your shirt, rich man. I mean, you support wife beaters. You support child beaters. And on top of that, you're the guy because you're too afraid to meet me because I told you to meet me a couple of years ago. Either we can go fishing, go eat, or do something. But let's go meet face to face and talk about it. Let's go. And you were so afraid to do that, you went to go hid in a freaking hotel room somewhere. And then all of a sudden you started finding some random woman on the internet, started picking on her. Picking on her so much to where you had to call the cops on her because she was so scared and her boyfriend or husband or whatever he is says, hey, I'm coming down to find you. And you were so scared because you were running your mouth, but you couldn't cash that check. You just couldn't do it. You had to call the police. She had to have a freaking cease and desist sent to you to freaking leave her alone because that's all you would do would just, stalk her while you're in the freaking sleeper of your truck. You're in the sleeper of your truck and you're harassing a woman on YouTube and you got a dude trying to figure out where you're at. You're putting your family in danger while you're out there beating off to freaking, Lord knows what you're beating off to in the sleeper of your truck with that freaking oversized shirt with your neck. Like, go buy you a new shirt. You're just like Gamer Pat like that. Why? Because Gamer Pat used to do the same thing to Allie Knight. He would sit there and go beat off to Allie Knight in his mommy and daddy's basement and go leave her freaking messages and make videos about Allie Knight. And I pretty much ran Gamer Pat off that because of Allie Knight. Listen, I had a couple of conversations with Allie Knight, but I didn't know her like that. He was a weirdo. Just like you. Just like you. How dare you come on here and act like you're any better than anybody else? Because you're not. You're not better than anybody. You're down there with Gamer Pat. You're down there with William Worthington. Yeah, you're down there. Down there. Oh my gosh, you're down there. I mean, you're below bottom of YouTube. You got the Boit out there at the bottom of YouTube. What says B Boit? Below bottom of YouTube. Because you're under it. You're sadder than all those folks. All of them. You're sadder than all of them. TC Boggs and the people who you hang around with that freaking lift you up. Bunch of freaking weirdos. Bunch of freaking weirdos. I mean, you're sitting there calling 404 Trucker Dave a pedophile. You and Thor are calling him that. And you wonder why 404 Dave is say, hey, I'm going to come meet you, Thor. And Thor cowers down like a pussy. He was at home too, and he knew that he was going to be up there. All because he took a picture of James Hensley in his house. That's it. One photograph. And then all of a sudden, you guys claim that he takes pictures of kids everywhere he goes. You ever been on a cruise? I know you haven't. You're too busy beating off in the back of your freaking cag truck to freaking Betty Washam. I know you haven't been on a cruise. You don't even go home. You ain't been on one. Guess what? There's a lot of kids on a ship. There just is. Trust me. I know. I don't like that part of it. So weird. Why don't you go home? Huh? I mean, you've got Billy Raines said you had a restraining order, or Betty Washam has a restraining order on you. I know you called the cops on her, and I know she put a cease and desist order on you. Right? Which is basically, I guess, is a restraining order, not in technical terms, but kind of, sort of. Right? I mean, does your wife at home have a restraining order on you? You support wife beaters and child beaters. Are you a wife beater and a child beater? Huh? Is that what you do? Or are you just beating off the freaking porn in your freaking sleeper of your truck or Betty Washam? Huh? These are questions I have. TC Boggs, you're nothing more than a freaking hypocrite, a freaking weirdo, and there ain't nothing really I see good in you. There's really not. I want to believe that there's some in you, but I haven't seen it. You haven't showed me none. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because you hate my guts. You hate my guts. Why? Because I didn't want to be your friend on Zello, because I made a comment on a video that basically I said that you were dumb and you were jealous, because you are, because you would make all those freaking videos, right, of the whiteboard sitting there talking about how much people made on YouTube, right? You would go to Social Blade, which are inaccurate numbers, and you go write it down and you go tell everybody and you talk shit about the people, and one of those people you talk shit about was me, then you expect me not to answer? Huh? You got all up in your feelings because we were on Zello one day, right? And Yukon started talking about flat earth, which I think is weird. And then you didn't like what Yukon was saying, and you basically called him a meanie head and started calling him all these names, and you rage quit, and then all of a sudden you hate everyone. And you claim that I was a flat earther. Right? So because Yukon was a flat earther, now I was a flat earther. Well, now that Yukon and I, we exposed his fake Christianity and his weirdness, sitting there posting pictures of his daughter, and in the same freaking post, community post, talking about men freaking masturbating, in the same picture that he's sitting there posting of his daughter on YouTube, okay? That's one of your people now, right? You claim y'all are besties now? You got real questionable people that you leg hump. Aren't you leg humping Little Dog now? That's T-Bone where that money is. Huh? Because Little Dog came in there and kissed your ass a little bit. That way you could go attack me more. Right? Now you're a big leg humper. Oh, Little Dog kissed my ass. Oh, he told me I was great. Oh. Sitting there playing you like a fiddle. because you're weak? Huh? Now you're a big leg humper, but you're going to be blind to the fact that, hey, little dog owes how many thousands of dollars? I don't know how much. To freaking T-Bone? Huh? You forget that? But then you tell lies about a freaking widow? I told you that in another video. You can go look that up. I won't explain that again. I'm not too far from the house. I mean, we're all detestable. All the people that try to do right. We try to do right. We humble ourselves and we try to do right. Someone like Elite, okay? Listen, Elite's given me criticism. He has. He absolutely has. Did I take it personal? No. It's like, hey, I think, you're getting too big in your head there, right? I like you, but, get over yourself. I'm like, okay. I don't mind that. He didn't do it out of spite. He didn't do it out of malice. He talked a little shit, but, hey, I'm a man. Right? These people are all about constructive criticism. They think that anybody can do better, I believe, and that's the reason why I like them. That's the reason why I like them. Not friends. We don't talk, but I like them. And the more they put out, the more I like them. And it's not because they take a shit on you. Well, they probably see the same things I see. I'm sorry, but more people see that in you than what you realize. And I guarantee you, most of them, including myself, want to see people like you do better. Here's a great example. Joey sunglasses, Joey sunglasses, whatever, eyeglasses, whatever, right? Talk 9 miles of shit about my daughter and my wife, which still doesn't mean, we buddies or anything, but the dude went and apologized, right? I don't know, about a month or so ago. And we've been cordial ever since. At least that I know of. Now, he may go somewhere else and talk that I don't know of. But from what I've seen, he ain't doing the same shit. He ain't talking about my wife and kids anymore. And so we cordial. Right? If I'm going to forgive somebody, I have to forgive them. Not forgive them unless, except when it comes time for me to unforgive them, right? I'm not going to hold it over their head unless they start doing it again. I'm not going to hold it over their head, right? That's forgiveness. If I could do that for someone like that that's talking 9 miles shit about my daughter, now again, we're not friends, we're not chopping it up. It ain't like that. But I can forgive him, and I could, and I'm glad that he, looks like he found something that, he likes doing and selling hot dogs. That's good. I like seeing that. I like seeing people try to do better. I like seeing that. That's what these people like doing. Seeing people do better. I like to see you do better. I like to see it, but you think it's all black and white. People on your side are these great saints of YouTube, James Hensley, William Worthington, freaking David Nesbitt, saints of freaking YouTube, while the rest of us, that we admit our faults, right? We know that we fall and we get right back up and we fix our ways and we do better. We believe in redemption, right? We believe in that. But, you think that Thor is this great guy after admitting he was sitting there pretending to be someone's friend for 7 years. He was pretending. That's an honorable person right there. That's such a good man to pretend to be another man's friend. 40 some odd years old, you know, and then he goes and is such an honorable man to go and sit there and take a little something about Ike's daughter and go telling it to James Hensley and David Nesbitt. That way David Nesbitt and James Hensley can go and attack my daughter. That way he don't have to. He don't have to get his hands dirty. Honorable person, right? TC Boggs. Honorable person. He's just a great man. You surround yourself with them, right? Klansmen. All sorts of freaking characters. Now, I don't know if Randy Gray's a Klansman anymore. I know that there's been recent stuff within the last 10 years of him going into Jewish businesses and harassing Jewish people. Stuff on the internet. You can go look it up. But if he's out of that, then good on him. Right? But he's one of those in the background that does all the lying and stuff. Right? You surround yourself with people like that. You sit there and Elite calls you out on a video, sitting there talking about how much you watch porn. And I would say it's generally a fact. I never did think of it. But most of the freaking people that are in adult, or most women at least, have a childhood that probably has, some bad stuff going in there, right? Some bad stuff. You talking about? I know there's lots of stories out there. Listen, there's a woman that used to be a prostitute, became a Christian, and the reason why I know who she is because she married the guitar player for Stryper, Oz Fox, and I can't. They're out there in Vegas. She got some colorful hair, but she does a ministry, for prostitutes and stuff like that, right? And I know that a lot of these women have troubled past. And so anytime you go and support porn, you're supporting that. And Elite just only pointed that out to you and you got so disgusted that you left YouTube because what you thought was Elite did was so detestable. No. You just looked at yourself and like, hey, maybe I shouldn't watch porn. Maybe, just maybe, Elite was right on something. Right? You're sitting there always talking about pedophiles, but yet you're kind of halfway, by proxy, supporting it. Right? You're supporting it. That's the reason why you got ran off. Not because of the things that he said. No, things he said hit home run, hit home to you, huh? Hit home. Why don't you just admit it that you're wrong? Why don't you just admit it that you're a detestable person? And everyone who you call a detestable person, you're only calling them that because you're jealous because you wish they were you, or you wish you were them, I should say. Or maybe vice versa. But listen, I know you wish you were me. I know you wish you were me. I don't watch porn. Alright? I don't defraud the government. I don't beat my wife. Don't beat my kids. I don't defraud the freaking YouTube community. Right? If I do someone wrong, I make it right. I apologize and mend those fences. That's what men do. That's what men do. You wish you were me. You wish you were Elite. You wish you were Juan Cordova. You wish you were Trucker JD. That's the reason why you can't stand it. You wish you were Billy Raines. But no, you're down there. Below bottom of YouTube. That's where you are, TC Boggs. Hey, everybody. I appreciate you guys watching. If you can't hear, I'm going down Pobo Avenue here. Freaking Chughole City. And it's freaking bumpy. And I'm going to go inside and eat my lunch and make YouTube videos for a living, including this one. So I appreciate you on my way home here. You guys have a good Thursday or Friday, whenever you're listening to this. Be safe out there. And, 73.
This one's for every one of those fans in the stands